Let's get a definition first because expensive means something different to everyone. But for the purpose of this video, I'm defining it as items that are just so much more expensive than their available alternatives. My only other rule here is that I'm not counting genuine investments. For example, my laptop is very expensive, but because I literally earn money with it, I'm not including it here. And so, kicking these off in the kitchen, thing one is a large rubber surfaced cutting board. Very common in Japan, but not quite adopted ubiquitously throughout the rest of the world. Right off the bat, no, it does not smell like what you might be expecting rubber to smell like. There's zero artificial scent. But let's talk size, and this cutting board is the one I used for over a decade. Small, super cheap, plastic, but the workflow and quality of life improvement of just sizing up has been the most noticeable. Like, even a small tomato on this tiny board felt sort of cumbersome to work around and keep everything confidently contained on the board. And so regardless of material, just sizing up alone makes meal prep so much better. But the reason I'm now an advocate of a rubber surface is twofold. One, it's just more hygienic. Unlike plastic boards that get grooves where bacteria can get trapped, or wood, naturally very absorbent for bacteria, especially from raw meats to burrow into, high-quality rubber boards are non-porous and self-healing from regular knife strokes. Two, speaking of knife strokes, rubber surfaced boards don't dull knives anywhere near as fast as other materials. And a sharp knife is a safe knife, and no, a honing rod does not sharpen a knife, it just hones it. I'm not deeply knowledgeable about rubber cutting boards because I've only been using this one for about 4 months. As my entry point though, this one is by a company called Hasegawa from their Pro Soft line. It has a heavy wooden core to maintain structure and stability in use with the wrapped non-porous rubber surfaces, enabling those two core benefits, and this one, being about 12 by 20 inches, is actually the smallest size I'd recommend to enjoy the benefits of a larger cutting board regardless of material. The main problem? True to the theme of this video, at around $130 US. It's more than 13 times the cost of this guy, so of course, if you don't cook frequently, this is an automatic do not buy. However, if you do, from my own experience, it's a no-brainer. Now, returning back to how a sharp knife is in fact a safe knife comes item number 2, the Chef's Choice Model 15 3-stage electric knife sharpener. This thing is awesome. Stage 1 is the core sharpener, and with 2 slots on it and each of the other 2 stages means it's truly dummy-proof. Pull in alternate slots at each stage to consistently maintain the correct angle. Stage 2 is for honing, and finally stage 3 is for stropping and polishing. The results are actually crazy good, and most importantly, with 1 use a month, keeps knives sharp and straight and therefore safe, all in less than 2 minutes. If you've been with me for a bit, you know that I find sharpening my knives by hand calming and meditative. However, I bought one for my place because of the sheer speed. After all, my job and other responsibilities have this weird way of kind of minimizing the amount of time I have for other side quests. I think the best thing about this is that, again, most households have extremely dangerous dull knives, and yet oftentimes the focus is looking at buying expensive knives thinking they're automatically better. However, if it's not maintained and sharpened consistently, even the most expensive knife that has great edge retention eventually gets dull and therefore dangerous. And this Chef's Choice system, though used at most once a month, is well worth the safety, speed, and results to me. Next up is a bit more niche, and as a man, it's something I now suspect most women have known forever, and it's quality hair equipment like straightening irons and the like. But as a man, it's excellent wireless clippers with a brushless motor. Look, I love the feeling of a fresh haircut, but I hate sitting in horrendous Toronto traffic, then paying $40 on average for even a basic cut. So I said screw it a few months ago, I'm learning to do this on my own. And so after watching this YouTube tutorial, which I will link down in the description, this is where I'm at now. Yes, it's not great, but what you're seeing is my 4th attempt almost 3 months ago. I've only gotten better, and best of all, the amount of money and time I've saved has way more than paid for clippers already. However, like anything new I try, I don't know if I'll actually adopt it, and so I generally go for the cheapest option I can find to test things out. In the case of hair clippers, bad choice, because I went through 2 super cheap $20 clippers which either snagged and didn't even cut well enough, or started making strange noises and getting super hot to the touch within a minute. Like the rubber cutting board, I do not profess to be knowledgeable about hair clippers, but Reddit helped me choose the one I'm using now, which addressed all the issues I previously had. It's extremely expensive in my opinion, over $250 when it's regular priced, but again, even at that price, it's literally already paid for itself compared to barber visits, yet even still, I'm sure there are options that are just as good at less than half the price. I was just frustrated with the first 2 complete wastes. Before moving on, I gotta add, many folks love going to the barbershop. It's social, it's ritualistic, a barber often becomes a great confidant and friend, not to mention, many folks really care about the way their hair looks. I am just not one of those people, so if you are, please don't take the act of learning to cut your own hair as a life recommendation, especially since going to barbershops are one of the last ways to truly support your hyper-local economy. But if you are like me, you just need a super basic cut and you don't feel like the costs are worth the time and money. Learning to cut my own hair has been way easier and ultimately more time and money saving than I ever could have imagined. Last bonuses are the fact that this one is USB Type-C power delivery enabled charging for extended cordless use. Plus, given that some professional full-time barbers use this exact model, I'm very sure this will last me a decade, no problem. Next up is this. Over 2 years ago, I made this dedicated video sharing at the time this newfound boost in quality of life, but now, more than 24 months later, it's still one of the best purchases for the home that I've made. I make a ton of tiny messes every single day. Fresh ground coffee beans, or hey, residual hair on the floor after I finish sweeping when I'm done giving myself a haircut. The main reason this is in the video isn't just because it's expensive at over $100, because again, how everyone perceives $100 is wildly different, but rather it's in the video because I think many, if not most households already have a full-size upright vacuum cleaner, which means this is technically a complete unnecessary purchase. However, for me personally, there's a huge difference in my brain's perception of lugging an upright out, especially for a tiny mess, and just using this guy. And most valuably of all is, again, its quick dump feature. No filter bag or filter to mess with, just vacuum, walk to the trash bin, press the button, and I'm done. By the way, I gotta add, if you have kicked it with me for a bit, or heck, maybe from just this video so far, you might have gathered that I'm an oddly OCD person when it comes to hygiene and cleanliness in certain areas. I think there's a weird expectation of organization and cleanliness in some parts of the internet, and I'm here to remind you that in my opinion, happiness is the underpinning goal. If your spaces are what some would consider messy, cluttered, or hell, even dirty, but if you're happy, you've won the game. So please don't let anyone, and certainly not me, ever make you feel like you need to adopt systems, tools, or even brain cells of thought to solving a challenge that you don't even have. Okay, rant over. And with 4 down, we can move on to the last item on my list for this video, and that's investing in shallow storage. Weird, right? But hear me out. One of the most annoying things that just gets in the way of a smooth execution of any task is needing to dig for things. And the root cause is because a ton of our storage, whether it's a backpack or a drawer, goes deep. And the worst part about digging isn't just when starting a task, but also tidying up after a task. I recently moved, and pretty much the only new furniture I bought were these 3 IKEA Alex drawer units on wheels. You'll notice that all 6 drawers are shallow, which means there's only 1 layer of things in each. Which therefore means I'm never digging, whether I'm looking for something to use or putting something back after use. And even though IKEA is traditionally quite budget-friendly in terms of furniture, buying these 3 was actually quite expensive. And yet, the quality of life improvement from just how much smoother using and putting things back is why, despite the cost, it's totally worth it to me. I started this video by sharing how one of the rules of this video is that I wouldn't feature direct investments like a laptop that's easy to justify because I literally need it to earn a living. But if you're curious about both the affordable and expensive things that enable me to earn a living, you can check out my home productivity desk setup right up here. However, to see affordable things that have a huge impact, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding, if you got value, consider subscribing and hitting that bell so you'll be notified the moment new videos just like this one drops.